welcome to a new video of your favorite pen store. Today we are in Italy with Aurora and we're with the CEO of Aurora, Cesare Verona. Thank you so much for having us today and for the factory tour and all the kindness. Congratulations with the 100th anniversary of the brand.
Our first 100 years.
Your first 100th anniversary.
I was emphasized this.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more, because the company exists now 100 years. Can you tell us a brief history of Aurora?
Sure. First of all, thank you and welcome once again in Italy and welcome in the manufacturing of Aurora pens.
Thank you.
Yes, 100 years is a landmark in one way, but it's also a starting point. Companies that have this age, I think they have to look at their heritage, to their roots, but leave the present and look into the future. And this is something that maybe it's not always like this, because when you are such a company that have a lot of heritage experience and so on, sometimes you have maybe the not so good habit to look a little bit to the back and to the past and not look of what you can do. And sometimes people would love to say, we have been always doing like this. And usually I always answer, in the past, if we have been doing like this, there has been a very good reason, but can we try to do it better in a smarter way? And this is the way to progress. My family is involved in the history of writing since 150 years. I think you had the occasion to see the exhibition.
Yes. It was wonderful.
We are very proud in the sense that it's a foundation of the family, Officina della Scrittura. It's the Museum of History and the history of sign and writing, not specifically of Aurora, as you have seen. So it's not only open to everybody, to schools, to designers, to collectors, to lovers, to people who write and so on.
It's definitely a must-watch.
Say it again?
It's great to see.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody has to come to see.
Well, let's hope. We have now a guy coming from Lebanon who wants to see the museum. We had people from New Zealand, from Korea, from Australia. That they took the flight to come see. Say seriously, I mean, you don't have anything better to do? He said no.
No,
we absolutely want to. We are absolutely definitely to come to Aurora. So we are happy for that. So my family is involved in the history of writing, as I was saying. Cesare Verona, from which I take the name, was my great-grandfather, who took a machine, at that time a revolutionary machine, which was the typewriter, and he started the business in the 18th century. So how the things of life, Aurora was born in 1919, as you say, was unfortunately bombed in the 1943 by the Britons, the Allies.
The factory was first
in the center of Turin, exactly, sorry for not explaining this. It was in Via della Basilica. So if you have old advertising which is written Via della Basilica, that was the old ancient mill, and we are here since 1944. I think that you have taken a good tour, a good visit. I hope you enjoy your time. So you have seen how we do the pens, from the design to the delivery of service. And we have decided to be a very much integrated company. So people and consumer who buy an Aurora pens, for sure they do know that they can buy a pen which is 100% made in Italy. It's 100% assembled here, and a lot is done in-house. And this is a little bit an exception to the other maybe companies around the world. Second part is that I think Aurora pens have that little bit of Italian creativity, which we are kind of well known. They have some design, but I think they have also a good technique. So maybe people do not associate Italy with technique. People maybe associate this with Germany, with Switzerland, with other countries. But I think that Italy has progressed a lot in the quality of their goods and in the mechanic. So I think they are very reliable. And I always say Aurora is second to none. So we feel that our quality is to the best performance and top performance of the market. What else to say?
How was it for you because your father was in the company, your great-grandfather started the company. How was it for you to grow up in a family company like this? Was it always your dream to do something? Maybe you want to be a fireman, I don't know.
No, it's strange. I mean, on one side, I've been studying in Liceo, which is the preschool, let's say before university.
Mm-hmm.
I went to economics, so I have a degree in economics. I went there to work and to work in other companies, and then I found my way in the sense that I worked for some time outside, and then I decided to come to Aurora after a while. So
mm-hmm.
I heard about the pens, of course, in the family,
Yeah.
but it was not an obligation, number one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a personal choice,
mm-hmm.
and it was a choice that I have taken when I was already mature. So
mm-hmm.
I was around 30 years old or something
Okay.
like that. So the idea to come to work in the company was already after a certain amount of experience,
mm-hmm.
which is good. So
Yeah,
some of the
definitely.
mistakes maybe I have done it outside and not inside the company. Then, of course, with my father, we had very different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
The opinion related to how to go to export markets, and as the company was very much Italian driven.
Mm-hmm.
So the big first discussion was to say what we're going to do, how we're going to go, and why we do not become more international than what we are. And this was the first discussion. And I think now that we are doing 70% of export, and Italian market is still an important market, but it's not the only market.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have made the right choice. So we should have done and should have been international as a company.
Mm-hmm.
Before we were doing 97% of our work in Italy. And this, even if the market, the Italian market is interesting in luxury, people love nice things, they like nice shoes, they like nice clothes and nice accessory. Still, it's one of the markets.
There's more outside of Italy.
Much more. So I think we made the right choice. So yeah. I'm happy for that.
Did you have a lot of conflicts with your?
We had a lot of confrontation. Yes,
yeah?
A lot of confrontation because he was more in the middle market.
Yeah.
As a positioning and also as organization of the factory.
Mm-hmm.
I was more upscale and up market.
Yeah.
And so I had one Aurora in mind, he had a different Aurora in mind. And by the time then the things were changing, mm-hmm. market disruption, there was internationalization, there was digitalization, there was the crisis, Lehman mm-hmm. Brothers. I mean, a lot of things has changed. And I think that my father has left the company when he was quite, can I say, I don't want to say old, but he was mm-hmm. nearly 81. So now he's 89. So he had maybe not such the same view of the future that I could have.
Could you, when you had a discussion at work, could you leave it at the dinner table at home?
Yes, I understand the question. Well, first of all, I was a very different from the other Italians that they stay in the family for until mm-hmm. very, very long. Yeah. I was out of the family when I was 18. Okay. So much more like, let's say, a Dutch guy or a German guy or American guy. So we left it there because I was not eating with them.
But the fact
that for sure, no, it was taken there. But we had discussion. But he was the boss, so he was taking the last decision.
Yeah, okay.
At the moment, now it's my own responsibility to take the mm-hmm. decision.
Is he still does he have an opinion about something?
Yes, unfortunately, this has been going down because his memory is not to the top level, mm-hmm. and so sometimes he forgets the things and so on, mm-hmm. and maybe he doesn't have the perception of how much the market has changed and so
what's
on.
happening right
exactly.
now.
But anyway, the idea is that we have kept it on a loyal way, a logical confrontation of, how can you say, generations.
Yes.
And always I say that I have to remember this when I will eventually want to retire and to remember that I have to retire not when I will be 80, but maybe when I will be 70, and generation number 5 that will eventually come, they will have their own opinion, they will have different opinion, and I will have to respect them and try to guide them to what I feel is right. Sometimes I will tell them, I think this is wrong, sometimes I will have to let them go, and sometimes I will have to say, but this is... I think that's the rule of the life. I mean, life, it's a matter of life, and that's it.
You mentioned that you joined the company when you were 30. Did you have an own collection, pen collection already, or do you have it now?
Okay. Very funny story. The story was that I had the first collection because when I graduated, when I was 23, that time university was quite long, so now in Italy you have also graduation after 3 years. My time you had graduation when you have after 5 or 6 years. And the people and the colleagues of my father gave a small collection of old pens to me. And from that story we started the big collection of Aurora pens. So I had like 20, 40 pens as I remember when I was graduated, and from there we started. Now we have more than 4,000 pens.
In your personal collection? Yeah. Wow, that's impressive. So you mentioned you have a personal collection of 3,000 pens. What intrigues you the most of a fountain pen? Is it the design, the filling mechanism, or the nib?
It intrigues me the balance between shape, performance, color, finish, and they express to me the time when they were created. So you see some pens that have special colors, special shapes, and so on, and you come back to remember what you've been, doing and how people have been created.
You back,
yes,
like a time machine.
Exactly. This is one of the things I like.
Well, 100-year anniversary. What is your vision for the future of Aurora for the next 100 years?
Well, to move on to the next 100, I think I don't have that view, but I can say the last 5 years have been very good for Aurora, business-wise. We have been growing double-digit for the last 5 years. We have more than doubled the turnover from the day I've been taking the company in command. We expect to grow more for the next 5 to 10 years. My vision is to blend capacity of craftsmanship, the capacity of the people to do the things in a certain way with head and hands, and put a little bit of technology also. So the idea is to say, let's keep Aurora the way we are, let's mix and blend our capacity to create new pens and the capacity of putting some technology to help the process. I think in the future, pen will stay like a nice accessory, like a nice watch, like a nice shirt or a nice shoes, and I think there will be more and more. And technology is very pervasive, getting into our life every day. But it's also true that the more technology puts the people on the same level under a certain technology, and then you can use that technology to do things, the more people would like to have something distinctive. And this is the history of man. If you go back 3, 4, 5,000 years, you find new nice jewels. You find something that has been crafted and manufactured with the hands. And to have some degree of distinction.
That's something from mankind. That's
exactly.
From all years.
And you can see in Africa, you can see in Australia, you can see in the middle of Mato Grosso in Brazil. It doesn't matter the idea of the value. It can be wood, it can be horn, it can be gold, but it's the idea and the concept to create something with the hands and to create, let's say, un'opera d'arte, a masterpiece. And so this is the idea. So I think this will stay, and I think pens will have. Plus there is a symbol, because you have the five senses. You have a pen inside and you can touch, you can have them in your hands, you can feel the ink, you can listen to the noise, you can touch and balance and play with it. So there are a lot of emotions connected with a pen, more maybe than with a shoes. Yeah. I would say that it's more like a watch in some way. Yeah. And the concept of time has been also very challenging for men. And so I think that there is culture, there is writing, there is history, there is heritage, there is memory, there is your gesture, your signature, to be expressing yourself, something nice. And I think I have the very big privilege on working on this business, and I'm very happy. So let's at least put forward our mind for the next 5 to 10 years, and then we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Well, you come back again, and we will touch it. You can ask me the same question. Okay. We can recap and say what we've been saying here. It was a hot day in Aurora, in Torino, but it was a nice day.
You mentioned a lot of materials that you're making the pens of right now. If you had no limits for materials or whatsoever, with if it is possible or not, what would be a great dream pen for you to create one day? I don't know, maybe from a special wood or something. What would be a great material for you to make a pen of?
Well, in 100 years we have been doing a lot of pens.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have been touching different materials, from celluloid to resin to gold and silver, diamonds and things like that. So in some way you can have the two extreme, maybe like a flying machine in some way. Yeah. So it's a very technological kind of approach, and that could be fun. On the other side, you can have a very retro kind of feel. I am more on the keeping the roots of the material, having, let's say, a pen is speaking with their material, rather than putting a lot of techniques inside. But Aurora is changing a lot, so I would like to keep my eyes open and ready for both, because in one way you have some history and heritage, and you have the people who likes this. On the other side, you see watches which are incredibly crafted. They are really an art of a masterpiece, a beautiful things to see. And I see that a pen, maybe it's a little bit less complicated than a watch, but also can be a nice machine. There is also ink inside, so you can see through. It's something that you can blend. So maybe it's even nice to see this is a dress, and on the other side you have the same pen with a completely different dress. And you can see the difference, and you can say, okay, this is maybe appealing to you, and this maybe it's appealing to me. And it's the same pen, so it's also like a matter of the nice tie or nice shirt you have. So, and still, I always say, the most beautiful pen, it's still to be created and invented. So it's a nice way to put yourself on the challenge for the next goal. Never say, oh, this is unachievable, you cannot do better. That's not true. We can do better.
Yeah, of course. You can always make your next step. What can you tell us about a new pen coming up from Aurora? Special.
I think this year has been an incredible year, because we have been working on 100 years shots. So market has been excited. Commercial director has been creating the Ocean collection, which is a beautiful line, has been completely sold out and very successful. We have launched Internazionale. We have launched an incredible amount of things. I can
the
give
Mambo.
Well, a lot more than what I was expecting. So basically we have, Mambo is a good example of what I'm saying. This is blending the heritage of a guilloche with super, let's say, modern material and a modern look. And you blend it when the shape is nice, and the shape is nice, then wow, it's
a
fantastic.
Beautiful combination.
I like it very much as a pen.
Yes.
there will be a 100-year span, but I'm not going to tell you and not your listener. And I'm sorry for the fact, but this will not be possible. So just to say, before 2020, something will happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then maybe some colored inks or something like this, which is not so important. But for Aurora, it's something different because we have been always very traditional with blue, black, or blue, black.
So there are new ink colors coming up.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Maybe. That's really interesting. Thank you so much for this interview, for taking your time for the tour, for having us here in Italy. I have a small Dutch gift for you as well.
Thank you so much. Okay. Shall I walk with that? I put a pen inside.
Yeah, it's really small.
I cannot put the pen inside.
Maybe you can use it as a pen holder as well.
Exactly. Can I open?
Yeah, sure. And actually, there are flower seeds inside. So
okay. So then I'll put the flower seeds. So tulips and something like this.
Yeah.
With the so it's matching color with the pen. See?
Perfectly.
And what about you? What is your best favorite Aurora pen?
My most favorite Aurora pen is the Ottantotto. Yeah, I like the classical design.
Okay, so you like the classical design, but you like let's say like this one. So this is the Ottantotto you like, or it's more the contemporary.
This is beautiful.
Okay, and this is a pen that I like very much also, and has been designed in 1947 by a guy called Marcello Nizzoli, and then reinterpreted by Aurora, and I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's a timeless piece.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So we'll see you in about 20 years
to
say
probably.
where we go.
Recap.
Okay, a recap.